I don't know about y'all, but I like to laugh. It's fairly surprising since I have an account on a site called twitter.com, but it's true and I'm tired of pretending it's not. But as much as I hate to admit it, the older I get, the more something or someone has to try in order to get me to genuinely laugh beyond a mere exhale or casual chuckle. I also find that it's usually the most inane bullshit that manages to break past my barriers and get me howling.
Have you ever tried making a chicken and veggie one-pan meal?
Yeah.
I can't explain why this is one of the funniest things I have ever seen in my life. It just is. In that same vein, it takes a lot for an anime to make me laugh. I don't mean to sound stuck up when I say this, but there are quite a few shows out there that the general populace has deemed the funniest anime of all time, and I'm over here casually exhaling because while it was enjoyable, it wasn't hilarious. I also think the inverse is true. A lot of the anime I find funny are quickly forgotten by the general populace, which is why I think a lot of you will probably disagree with the opinions herein, but that's perfectly fine. I am just mentally ill and therefore laugh at a bunch of imbecilic nonsense. In this special episode of Anime Ambush, let's take a look at some of the most uproarious anime I have ever seen in my life. Just in time for the most hilarious day of the year, National Sourdough Bread Day. But first, did you know that one of the funniest things you can do to celebrate the objectively best bread variety is absolutely eviscerating that big red subscribe button? It's true. Besides, and you didn't hear this from me, but word is the subscribe button's favorite bread is brioche. How disgusting, am I right? Now this is what they might call an epic gamer moment. 2017's Gamers by Pine Jam, the studio that would go on to establish the flesh mecha genre with 2020's Gleipnir, was one of the funniest anime of its year and would eventually become known as Misunderstandings the Animation for extremely good reason. It followed Keita Amino, an introverted game aficionado who's invited to join his school's game club by best girl Karentendo, get it? But he succinctly declines on the basis that he prefers playing games for fun rather than sport. Karen, not one to accept defeat lying down, makes getting to know Keita her main quest, and from there, both of their lives, in addition to 3 other characters' lives, are linked by a spider web of confusion and convolution that easily makes it one of the funniest anime I have ever seen. It made some controversial decisions that I wasn't the biggest fan of, such as devoting its entire finale not to resolving any freestanding plot threads, but to discussing the existence of DLC in gaming. I always thought it ironic that the episode where they discussed DLC felt tacked on, as if it was itself DLC. I highly doubt that it was an intentional move by Pine Jam, because if it was, it'd be the most meta anime since Anime Gatari discussed the existence of the 3-episode rule in the 3rd episode. Gamers is currently available via Crunchyroll. In 2018, I published a video entitled Pop Team Epic Isn't Very Funny. It's a video I kind of regret making, as my opinions regarding the anime equivalent of a shitpost have changed dramatically in the years since. And with the news that we're getting a 2nd season of Ecstasy with a double dosage of kawaii culture, now is the best time to revisit this affront to anime as an institution and make amends, first by saying that Pop Team Epic is, in fact, hilarious. Pop Team Epic follows the exploits of Popco and Pipimi, the end result of crossing anime girls with roadkill as they seek to decimate any sense of predictability in anime. Despite my attempts to explain what is really happening behind the scenes of this unholy union of anime and chaos, there is no real timeline of events, as Pop Team Epic is first and foremost a variety show featuring skits performed by Popco and Pipimi in many different different animation styles. While each episode is the standard length for an anime, it's only so because halfway through, the episode is rerun with minor changes to the script, and the voice actors are changed from male to female and vice versa. It is unashamed in its reference game, going so far as to directly call out publisher Takeshobo and producer King Records as an evil organization hell-bent on having them cancelled. I adore everything about this series and cannot wait for season 2, and I continue to hope upon hope that Funimation, or should I say Crunchyroll, will consider me to guest star as Popco or PP-me for one episode. If we can make that happen, I will be able to die happy. Pop Team Epic is currently available via Crunchyroll and HIDIVE. I will never stop singing the praises of Hinamatsuri. It aired during a tumultuous time in my life, and for 24 minutes each week, I was able to take a step away from whatever it was that troubled me and laugh. It follows Nita, a member of the Yakuza who seems to have everything going for him. He's successful, loaded, and doesn't want for much, until the day he meets a young psychic named Hina, who threatens to break everything he owns if he doesn't let her live with him. It spirals further out of control as they learn to enjoy each other's company and as Nita figures out how to navigate his new life as a single father. Hinamatsuri is, at first glance, not the kind of anime you'd typically expect to be included on a list of the funniest anime of all time, but it's truly deserving of a spot on this list. Its humor is unmatched. It's a very subtle kind of humor. For example, one character, Hitomi, a canonical middle school student, ends up working as a bartender because she has a difficult time saying no to people, and ends up being so good at it that the manager blackmails her into working there more often. It sounds like a horror story waiting to happen until you realize the way it's written and the way it's executed makes it so absurd that it's hard not to find it utterly hilarious. I adore Hinamatsuri, and while I still have hopes for a second season after the way the finale played out, it could be but a futile dream. Hinamatsuri is currently available via Crunchyroll. It's at this point in the video where I may lose a lot of you. Backstreet Girls has some of the most polarizing humor in an anime to date, and it will turn a lot of people off as soon as they hear the synopsis. I know this because I was one of them until I decided to randomly give this one a shot, and I will never regret doing so. It is one of the funniest anime I have ever seen, and I say that with my whole chest. Backstreet Girls follows Kentaro, Ryo, and Kazuhiko, 3 members of the Yakuza who, after failing their boss for the final time, are given 2 options to repent: have their organs harvested and sold, or travel to Thailand for sex reassignment surgery and become idols to make back the money they lost. It might be obvious, but they reluctantly chose the second option, and after a year of training, they debut as Airi, Chika, and Mari, also known as the Goku Dolls. From there, the series becomes a scathing critique of what it means to be a Yakuza and idol culture as a whole, while also being a hilarious anime. If you're still with me, good. I imagine that this one will not be for everyone, and that's just fine. I get the feeling that in order to find this one as funny as I do, you might need a similar sense of humor to mine, which I admit is somewhat rare. I would love to see this one get a second season, but I already know that's something that'll never happen in a million years, and I guess I can accept that. Backstreet Girls is currently available via Netflix. It is then that we arrive at the pinnacle, at the peak of all comedy anime that currently exist or will exist, is a slice of life series about 3 chaotic hellions who'd make Popco and PP-me blush. Asubi Asobase, Workshop of Fun, revolves around 3 classmates who play traditional hand, board, and card games. There's Kasumi, who is uncomfortable around men, Hanako, who wants nothing more than to be popular, and Olivia, a Caucasian girl raised in Japan yet who pretends to be a foreigner to excuse her broken English. In each episode, they explore various pastimes which inevitably get them into trouble wherever they go, until it becomes obvious that they are the villains of their own story, and that's only part of what makes this one worth dropping everything to watch. I think one of the best things about Asubi Asobase is the sheer absurdity to be found in some of the characters' expressions. I would be willing to bet that in every episode there are more than a few moments worthy of a screenshot, which adds something to the experience that not every anime can offer. It's also just a really funny anime. I don't think I have ever laughed as hard at an anime as I have while watching this one, yet I don't see a lot of people talking about it, which makes me very sad. I want a second season of Asubi Asobase so badly I would fund it myself if I wasn't such a broke bitch. Asubi Asobase is currently available via Crunchyroll. Hey, all you bits and bobs, thank you so much for watching. Well, that's all she wrote. Those are my 5 picks for funniest anime of all time. Now it's your turn. What titles did I leave off of this list that you would put on your top 5 anime of all time? Surely a couple come to mind, so let me know in the comments below, but not before smashing that subscribe button and hitting that bell icon to be notified next time I post a new video. I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all, and I cannot wait to see y'all again in the next one. Until then, this has been Pixcelation, reminding you to stay pixelated.